I shared a video on Twitter, and I was asked to show how I set up Logseq database version, which is currently in alpha testing by a group of Logseq community members. So the setup, um, this is an overview of that setup, and what we'll do here during this session, I'll try to condense this, see if we can do it in 15 minutes or less. Uh, but we'll set up a couple of workflows. And the first one is going to be a tiny task tracker. This is bonus. That was not in the previous video, but I think it's worth having it for a reason I'll comment on later. And the habit tracker. In the habit tracker, track meditation, mood, workout, and reading. So the reading habits and books I'm actively reading, and FAQ tracker, and I mentioned the book tracker here. So it's part of it shows up in the journal habit, and then a person tracker as well. So let's get into it. So the crux of it will be within the journal tag. So we use that as a starting point. So almost like start with the end in mind kind of thing. So the end state will be in the journal as properties of the journal. And one feature that's been added just recently, last Friday, is the journal tag in the alpha release. So when we click on that, what we'll do is we add a couple of properties real quick. So the first one we're going to add is mood. So when we add the mood property, and we're going to set its position to be at the beginning of a block. And because I recorded a video, I tried to record this video before, and it didn't have any audio. So during that setup, I already pre-created this, so this is kind of speeding things up a little bit for me here. But in any case, I picked so I set the available choices to be to be numbers. So if you check here, the property type is number, and that's intentional, so that in the future with numbers we can create charts. That's mainly it. Otherwise, we could have used a property type text. So now that's set, we want the positioning to be at the beginning of a block, like I mentioned a moment ago. So that one is set. Next one, let's add a workout. So for workout, we'll do workout biking, and this one is a checkbox. So when I do that checkbox, I want that one to be positioned at the end of a block, and that is it for that one. Well, let's do another one. Let's do meditation. This one is going to be a checkbox as well. We'll position that at the end of a block, and I need to rename this. Okay. All right, and let's do reading. So anytime I read, I want to, on a given day, I want to check this off. So that one is also reading, checkbox, sorry, and that one I want to keep that at the bottom of a block, so below the block. So instead of using block property, I keep it here. So that's that. And last, actively reading. So this one right here will allow me to keep the book I'm actively reading at the forefront on my daily journal. So I'll pick a node type, and you'll see why. So when I pick a node type, actively reading should be surfacing a book, basically an instance of a book, if that makes sense. So an instance, it's like an object, and the it's an object of type book. So in this case, I will type book here, describing that actively reading will get me an instance of a book. So now that we have that set, and this one I want the position to be set below the block because it's tidier that way. So now we can go back to the journal. We can already see some of these here. which is pretty cool. So reading is showing up. Let's assume I read today, I check that off. If I go to the right, I see change my workout biking. So today, when I'm riding my bike, there you go. And meditation, meditated, yes, no, no. So currently there is no concept of default with properties yet. So for that reason, we may not see the active book because there's no value associated with it. So I'll use a keyboard shortcut, which is PT, and it will show me properties that I've set on the journal. So I can see that actively reading is here, but it doesn't have any value. So what we do here is, okay, let's assume I'm reading getting started, getting things done. Can't type. And things done. So that's a book. And if I click on getting things done, we can see it's an instance of a book. So if I wanted to quickly add a tag called author, I can add it here, and it's asking me what, again, author is what really. An author is a person, so I'll add a tag quickly for person. That way I can keep track of the author being a person, so the properties of person can basically make their way to author as well. So this is the flexibility that the new version of Logseq brings into the table. So if we go all the way back and I click back on getting things done, this is David Allen, and right there. And if I click on David Allen, we can see he's a person. Simple as that. So now that we've set a book and the mood, I have not set that yet. Like I mentioned, there's no default concept of default value yet. So I'll say, okay, today my mood is this. We can see it right at the beginning of the journal, which is kind of what I wanted to see. So I'll hide these properties because I don't need them to take space on my screen. So again, PT, it's the escape and then PT. So just like that, this is what I had shared in the recording. Now, the next bit that I had in that recording was an FAQ framework. So, and for that one, we'll do something like this. So this is a question, and one feature that exists is we can now set icons to a node. So what I'll do is I'll use a keyboard shortcut for that, PI, and I'll set the question mark icon in front of that question right here. And since it's a question, I'll add a question tag to it. When I do that, the reason why I want to do that is I want my answer to be a property in this case. So the answer is a property of type text, and that answer, we want that to be multi values. That way we can have multiple blocks that can be filled to answer questions instead of being just one block and having sub blocks. So with that one, we should be set, and what I'll do is I'll copy these items right here and I'll just add them as my answer. So what did we just set up today? And this is pretty much it. Now, I did mention that we'll be setting up a tiny task tracker, and that's for a reason. So what I'll do here is I'll do a call. I want to call that let's do Tido or Tido. I'll call it Tido. But so this tiny task tracker is something I kind of like because I want to quickly set, check or uncheck a task without having to rotate and while keeping the status of the built-in task for bigger things. So I'll make this a checkbox. The property type is a checkbox, and I'm going to change the position to be at the beginning of a block. And with that, once I go back, I can see the checkbox right in front of my block here. I can check it, and off we go. It's a tiny task tracker. Check, uncheck. It even works with spacebar. Isn't that cool? So let's add to-do here. Why not? Okay. Yeah, so you get the gist of it. So it's pretty simple. Now, does it even work with the built-in task tracker? Absolutely, you could do that too. So, but you see, in this case, I have to toggle. So, but all right, let's do that. So, what did we cover? So, a tiny task tracker, yes. How to track mood, yes, we did that. Book I'm actively reading, yes, we did it. Workout, yes, we did. The reading is right here. We also took care of that. So that's done. And a tiny task tracker is the last one we just did. So that's done. FAQ, as simple as it gets, it's done as well. And a lightweight, so the lightweight book framework, we kind of saw it, right? So adding the book quickly and the author, we're not going to go beyond that. We can add some more stuff, and I believe when the template capability comes around, we'll be able to do some really cool stuff with Logseq. So all right, so this is done, and the person, we have a tag for it. It only we did not add a name, phone number, email addresses, but we could have done so. All right, I think that's a wrap. Thank you for your time.